There are hundreds of creepypastas. Some are good and some are bad. In this video, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 creepypasta stories. Remember, this video is based on my own opinion and I have not read every single creepypasta, so I do apologise if I miss some great stories worthy of a top 5 list.
5.
This is a short story about the theme song of Lavender Town in the original Japanese versions of Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. It consisted of high frequencies within the song itself that only young teenagers and children could hear. Apparently, this frequency caused over 200 suicides within young children and many more developed illnesses. On the stories page, there is a direct link to the original song, as well as in my video description. The Lavender Town Syndrome was one of the first creepypastas I had ever read. Reading the story and hearing the theme tune for the first time, I definitely understood why the audio was considered creepy. Whilst also being a nostalgic story for myself, I believe Lavender Town Syndrome fits the beginning of this list perfectly.
4.
Whilst it can be argued that Slenderman dates back to folklore, most will reference Slenderman's origin on the Something Awful forum within 2009. Nearly everyone knows about the Slenderman as he gained much attention throughout the years, including a great web series and 2 games that were successfully released. Not much is really known about the character himself aside from the fact he kidnaps children and brutally murders them. With his slender appearance, having no face and being able to disappear and reappear at his own will, the story did a great job at making you feel somewhat paranoid. I think most people would agree that the concept of Slenderman is definitely creepy and can be unsettling to think of such a thing could exist. There are plenty of stories online, all being different encounters of the Slenderman, and there are many images and videos. The Marble Hornets web series is one of the greatest on the internet and I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it.
3.
The Russian sleep experiment is a popular story which details an experiment ran by a group of Russian scientists within the 1940s. They kept test subjects awake for 15 days without any sleep, and it continued with gruesome details of how patients lost their insanity and deathly murder that ends up being committed. It is one of the most realistic stories that certainly makes you question whether experiments such as this supposed one did take place throughout any point in history. I believe the story is well written, definitely creates a dark atmosphere quickly, and the fact a story like this could be real is what truly makes it scary.
2.
A creepypasta that contains a disturbing story about missing children and possible murders linking to a questionable TV show hosted within a local area. As of now, it's possible that the story hasn't ended, as throughout the years the story has been updated like a form of blog detailing a young man's investigation into this whole story. The story does a great job at taking an unconvincing plot and creating something truly scary. Another point is the tapes that are found showing different episodes of the sketchy TV show, and specifically the anticipation of Elliot meeting with a supposed child serial killer known as Mr. Bear, and the tapes that Elliot describes. I believe this to be one of the best creepypasta stories I have read, and it made it a difficult choice between second and first.
1.
Quite possibly one of the most infamous creepypastas, Ben is about a young college student who is seemingly haunted by a bootleg Majora's Mask Nintendo 64 cartridge. However, it's not merely the story's plot and description that makes it infamous and scary, it's the added details, the YouTube videos, the community that made the story much bigger than it was. Personally, this was my first creepypasta and the story that inspired me to begin this kind of series 5 years back. Thank you for watching my top 5 creepypasta stories, and please remember I will be uploading the forthcoming creepypasta episode videos on my new channel, which is in the description and linked on the annotation on screen. I would appreciate if anyone who enjoys the videos and has not yet subscribed to the new channel would do so.